Are you the type of person that thinks college is a waste of time? Maybe you want to do some work with your hands and not go to that whole college thing.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Philip.
And we teach you what you need to know about your personal finances using words you can understand without boring you to death.
Because adulting shouldn't suck. If you want to become part of that cool guy squad, hit that subscribe button, and in the comments below, let us know what you did today.
In this video, we're going to talk about the different education and training you're going to need to get into the trades. We'll show you how to figure out which licenses or certifications you need. We'll show you how to figure out how much money you're going to make starting out. We're going to talk about the growth rates of the different industries, and then we're going to show you a way that you can actually bypass trade school and still get certified.
Full disclosure, we're too pretty to do the trades. Have you seen these faces? I mean, seriously though, but we didn't do a trade. We went into the military instead. But we do have a lot of friends that have gone into the trade, world. So we've done a lot of research. We've picked their brains and we figured out what you guys are going to need to do so you guys can get into the trade industry yourselves. I mean, a lot of people are starting to realize that you don't need to go to college to make money. And even if you do go to college, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make a livable wage once you have a degree.
We actually have a trade series where we interview people across a broad spectrum of trades about the pros and cons of their industries, how they got into it, what they like about it, what they don't. So if you're interested in going into the trades, this is a great thing to check out.
This is going to be released in April 2021. So if you're watching this video before then, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that little bell so you get the notifications, and that way you can get the videos when they come out.
Working with your hands and learning a trade is never going to go out of style. And one of the biggest lessons we learned in 2020 is that trades are essential to make the world go around, right? So while plenty of other jobs were deemed unessential, which, I mean, we believe that everybody is essential, right? You have a right to provide for yourself and your families. But that's not what the government said. So trade jobs are essential, and they didn't skip a beat when it came to making money during 2020, for the most part.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got to go to trade school, but trade schools, I mean, they're not too bad, right? You have to go 1 or 2 years to get the program complete. I mean, and those are going to get you into jobs like construction managers, dental hygienists, electricians, paralegals, respiratory therapists, welders, and a bunch of other careers that, are going to be right there. Sometimes you can even go to the trade school and do the job at the same time. Sometimes that job will even pay for the trade school. Crazy.
One of life's biggest struggles is that people don't understand money. Sure, there's more to life than money, right? But there's also more to life than being broke and struggling to pay your bills every month. And that's one of the main reasons that people are looking at trades, is because you can go to trades, or you can go to a trade school, get certified, and pay less money to get that certification and start working right away and make a livable wage than going to college and spending 4 years to do it and starting your life out in debt.
Yeah. I mean, the average student loan payment in 2020 was $393. And over half the students with student loans in 2020 went in default, which means they didn't pay it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or they're in deferment, which means they couldn't pay it and they're just kicking the can down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Pay it
pushing it off because they ain't in school, they ain't graduating.
People are finally starting to wake up to the fact that if they go to college and they come out with a bunch of loans, it's going to make starting life out way harder than it needs to be.
Man, the average bachelor's degree takes 20 years to pay back if you get student loans. Can you believe that? 20 years!
That's disgusting.
Disgusting.
The average person, when they graduate from a trade school, if they had to take out any kind of loans for debt, has $10,000 or less that they owe.
Mm-hmm. Most of them are paying it as they're going through the trade school. So they end up going out of the program with zero debt, which is obviously the way to go. If you're serious about, mapping out your future, we suggest writing down your goals. If you guys need help with this, you guys should watch our SMART Goals video, which could actually use some help because for whatever reason, it's got like 37 views, which is crazy because all of the important videos on our channel don't ever seem to get a lot of views, but whatever. Anyways, it's got a free downloadable checklist in that video that's going to help you guys write out your goals and figure out your future. And obviously, if you guys have it written down somewhere and you guys see it, it's going to help remind you of what your goals are and just hold you a little bit more accountable. Let's check it out.
So when you're first getting started out, you're probably wondering, what is a trade school? Well, they can also go by the names of a vocational college or a technical school, and you're going to learn skills for a specific job, right? So every class you take relates to that job. You don't have to take a bunch of extra filler fluff classes that you didn't want to take in the first place and pay for them like you do at a community college or at a 4-year college. So you're going to be a lot more efficient with your time, and it's going to be streamlined in what you actually want to do from the very first day. Now, it can also have technical skills like nursing or paralegal studies. So these are all things that you're going to learn from a trade.
Yep. I mean, if you guys want to find out more about what a trade school is, we actually have a video on it. It says, forget college, go to a trade school, and then what is a trade school? The link to that video is going to be in the description below, so make sure you check it out if you guys want to find out more about trade schools. Next up, you're going to want to find out if that job that you're wanting as a trade is actually in demand. I mean, it'd be real silly if you learned how to be a lumberjack in the desert where there's no trees, because there's nothing to cut down, right? So obviously, you want to go to school for a job that is going to be in demand, and to do that, you're going to want to go to bls.gov and check out what the job growth is going to be for that position. I mean, that's going to tell you on that website what their expected job growth is going to be for the next 10 years. And then obviously if it's got a good growth or no growth, like some trade jobs do, then you could obviously pick which one's going to be better for you. And then while you're there, it's going to tell you how much money that trade is going to make, because, I mean, obviously, you don't want to go to school if you're not going to make any money type thing. You know what I mean? So do your homework, check out what job you want to do some research on it, and yeah, get it done.
So there's a big difference between being an electrician and being a drywaller, for example, right? So some jobs are going to require a lot more technical training, and some jobs you don't even have to have a high school diploma or really any training.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for example, some contractors can just go to a corner, pick guys up, have them do work for them for the day, and pay them a day rate.
Yep. I mean, you don't have to have citizenship in these positions sometimes. I mean, if it's just like a regular labor position, they could pick somebody up, pay them underneath the table, and then now you're not going to get that work because, they're going to pay that person less. So if you're in that category where it's considered unskilled labor, and you want to get paid a decent rate, you're going to have to compete against a lot more people, especially if you're in those bordering states where, that might be an issue. So if you're wanting to get paid more while you're in the trades, then you need to get the certifications to make the more money for those jobs. Okay?
So basically what he's saying is you're going to want to skip those trades where you're going to compete with a bunch of people who are unskilled labor or unskilled laborers, because on average they get paid 32% less than what you would get paid. And so employers or contractors aren't going to want to pay you as much money if they can pay somebody else less money. So ultimately, if you're going to go into these trade skills, right, go into the ones that are going to be more profitable. You can find that on the bls.gov website. Spots for residential, for example, like a plumber or an electrician or HVAC, because you're not going to compete with unskilled labor, and then you're going to get paid more money, which ultimately, everybody wants because it makes life easier.
Mm-hmm. #skilled labor equals money. Next up, let's talk about the education and training requirements it's going to take to get into a trade school. Most of the time, you're going to need at least a high school diploma or equivalent. If you're still in high school, you want to check to see if your high school has any sort of technical school or skill center that you can go to. Some schools have programs like Skills USA. This is a program that helps you get into trade schools, and they have hands-on training. And then they also do big old events where they host multiple different trades for you to go around and kind of check out and ask questions about those programs. If you've already graduated high school, a lot of community colleges offer trades programs. And if that doesn't work, you can always call around to see what type of companies are in your area and then what they're going to take to get you on the job. Sometimes they have on-the-job training that you could participate in, like an apprenticeship program.
Trade schools are going to offer a wide variety of credentials, and some of the most common ones are going to include things like certificates and diplomas, where you have to show that you've mastered the essential elements of whatever the trade is by passing a test or some kind of hands-on exam. And then after that, you've got licensing exams where they're going to help prepare you to pass a state exam that you're going to have in order to get the license to operate in that field. And then you've got apprenticeships. So they're going to help prepare you for an apprenticeship. And by the time that you complete that program, you're going to be ready to go start as an entry-level position.
If you guys want to find out exactly what you're going to need to be able to work in that particular job field, you're going to want to go to bls.gov and then type in how to become whatever job, and then that's going to tell you the most common requirements for that position. If you guys have like a labor union that is local, you guys can always call them also and be like, hey, I don't have any experience. I'm trying to look to see what I need to become this, that, and the other thing. And then more times than not, they're going to let you know what you need and what programs or companies they use to help you guys get those certificates. So check them things out and then find out what you need to become whatever job you want to be. Okay?
All right, so if you don't want to go to college and maybe you can't pay for trade school or you don't want to go to trade school, then our workaround for that is the U.S. military. All the branches have different positions where you can get a variety of trade skills out of it, and their credentialing program makes it so that you can actually get a job with those skills on the civilian side. Mm-hmm. It's called the Army Credentialing Assistance Program, and it helps military members get industry recognized certifications so that when you get out of the military, you can go get a job with those skills.
The Army has a program where you can get 5 NIM certificates, okay, and that's the National Institute of Metalworking Skills, in 13 weeks, all right? And now if you were to take these courses at a community college, it would take you 2 years to get those same certifications. So that's pretty awesome and a lot less time, in my opinion.
Each NIM certification shows that you've demonstrated competency in that occupational specific area for your industry. And when you have these certifications, when you get out of the military, it'll help you actually go get a job and be more employable over somebody else, because the more certifications you have, the more hireable you are.
Some trade jobs like a plumber or electrician, they're going to require some additional schooling even after your military service or your military job school. A lot of the times these trade schools are going to take into account your military service and your military experience, and then they're going to knock off some of those requirements for you to get those certifications, but you're still probably going to have to get some additional schooling, so just keep that in mind.
Some employers are willing to hire you even if you don't have the training or the experience, but more often than not, most of them want you to have the experience and the certifications so you can start working for them right away. Now, whether you're going to go to a trade school or whatever it is you're going to do, you have to invest in yourself and get the certifications or the training if you want to go get a job and be more successful.
Well, there you go. You just learned what it's going to take to get into the trade industry. If you guys want to find out more about this, make sure you check out our playlist on what a trade job is and how to get into trade school. That link is going to be in the description below. If you like this video, hit that like button, and then don't forget to subscribe. In the comments below, let us know if you're going to pick a trade job or not.
And if you have any friends that are interested in trades, make sure you share this video with them.